Hello friends, it's Kathy Clement with Kathy by Design. Welcome to Throwback Thursday. This is a little weekly series that I do on my YouTube channel where we dig back into our stash of older papers, products, dyes, tools, techniques, designs, and we make something fresh and new. So all this year we've been making banners with Graphic 45's Time to Flourish, and I just shared last week my November banner, and I had some beautiful scraps left from those November papers, but not a lot. You can see this is what I had laid out on my desk. I have one piece of the 8x8 and some cut aparts. So I thought I would show you a fun idea for using up scraps. And this is a great way when you don't have a lot of paper to still make a really beautiful card. So I started out by making a 5x7 card base, and I'll show you that in a minute when we get there. And then I cut a 4 7/8 by 6 7/8 inch panel of this Spellbinders faded brick. And then I cut a 4 5/8 by 6 5/8 panel of Gina K's tomato soup. And I will have links to all these products on my blog, which I will link to in the description box that you can find below this video. I had this one little piece of the orange floral, so I cut it up into 1/2 inch strips. And then I mitered the corners, which you've seen me do a lot. And I can give you a link back so you can find how to do that. But I'm going to show you how to do it again here. This created this little inset area, and I had a bit of this beautiful copper metallic paper. This is also Spellbinders. This is just barely over 3 3/8 by by 5 1/2. And what we're going to do is glue this down in that inset. And we're going to create a double frame, which I think is going to be really beautiful. In my head, this works, and I love sharing things like this with you guys where I'm discovering at the same time you are if one of my crazy ideas actually is going to turn out great. And I think this one is. So I'm just laying this in here, trying to get it straight and even. And if it's a little bit off, it's okay because we have a bunch of different tags and things to fill this in. Then I had this little piece of the patterned paper, and I'm going to show you how to miter these corners. I cut this into 5 1/4 inch strips, and then for the top and the bottom, we want 3 1/4 inch strips. So I'm just going to cut a couple of these into 3 1/4 inches very quickly. So the secret of making a mitered corner is you want to line your pieces up perpendicular. So I've got my top piece here, and I've got my side piece here. And let me turn this so my butterfly is going the right direction. That's also a good thing to pay attention to when you're doing a little frame like this. And when I'm sure that these are lined up and perpendicular, I'm going to come in with my scissors, and I'm just going to cut from the inside corner to the outside corner. And you can see how these are going to meet to make a beautiful mitered corner. And you just repeat this on all 4 sides of your card. So now that we've done this, I'm going to take just a bit of adhesive and put it in the center, because I like to stitch around these on my sewing machine, but if you don't want to stitch, you can just lay yours down. And what I'm paying attention to is two things: the distance of this point to the outside edge and the distance of that point, and then all along the side. I want it to be as even as I possibly can. Okay. Okay, so now you've got a frame within a frame. I'm going to go stitch this on my machine, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, true story. My sewing machine said, no, thank you. When I tried to stitch through this, I think this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, and it said, no, I'm not doing that. So we're going to have to do something different here. But anyway, funny. Here is the calendar card, or the ledger card, from the 8x8 pad. And then this is Reneabouquets' beautiful board, and I've colored this up with a bunch of different distress inks. It's so pretty in real life. I wish you could actually see it. Then I have a beautiful Reneabouquet pumpkin piece. I have this little sticker that I've matted on faded brick and trimmed around. This is a charm that my friend Brenda sent me in the mail that I think I'm going to use here. And the tag from the 12x12. Some postage stamps that I've kind of roughed up a little bit. So let's start laying this stuff down, and let's see where we end up. I'm not exactly sure. I kind of have a vision of what I want, but sometimes things shift and change. I want this to be right about here. Okay. Then I want this tag to be tucked in behind it, going this way this time. So I'm going to slip that in there. Okay. Then I'm going to come in, I'm going to place my pumpkin. I'm trying to get all my big things placed first, and then we'll come in and play with the smaller bits. I've put foam tape on the bottom because I matted this on a piece of chipboard, waste chipboard. So my pumpkin's going to go right there. I want to tuck my postage stamps back behind it like that. Okay, so far so good. Now I want to bring my leaves in, and I think I'm going to have to put foam tabs on some of these because I want this to kind of swoop in, unless I go, well, that looks good. Maybe just one of them up here and the rest. See, this is where you have to play, people. And sometimes you just don't know until you actually strike the right combination of things. I'm going to go ahead and put my adhesive on the back. I'm not sure what the name of this beautiful board piece is, but I will make sure that I look it up and link it. I think I like it kind of like this, and because this has got skinny branches, I'm able to overlap without creating a disaster. And then for this, I'm going to have to put foam tape on the top edge, because again, we've got to clear the height distance here. And I would have done this beforehand, but like I said, sometimes you really just can't tell. All right. And I'm going to put a little dry clear down on this part. And I want this to go right here. Uh-oh. Yeah, that worked. Okay, beautiful. Well, that's pretty so far. Let's see. All right, friends, I decided I want to, I moved this just a little bit because I want to add right here on the top these little acorns. And then I have a little tiny gold bow to go on top of this. And then once that is set up, I'll come back and trim the tails off. But look how sweet that is now. Really like that. Little acorns are great. Okay. All right. Then over here, I have, these are Reneabouquets Fancy Fall Tuck-ins. And I have a large acorn and then a smaller acorn to go on our branch, which is real sweet. Okay, so that's there. And I'm going to dot some glue and put my mustard seeds down. You know, I like my mustard seeds. So down here, I want to do flowers. And these are Reneabouquets. And this is a really beautiful shade of red. It's got a bit of orange or rust in it. And I spritzed it with some copper mist to amp that up. And I'm going to put this right here. And this pulls in our faded brick and our pretty red bird and our red leaves. And then I've got this beautiful yellow gold that's going to go right here. And I'll link to these, so don't worry that I don't know the names of all of them. She has so many wonderful things in her shop, and I don't have them all memorized. So this is going to go right here. And then this is from her fall flowers. And I love how this purpley color picks up on the little purple that's over in here. So I think I want to just trying to decide where I'm going to put that. I think maybe right here. I always hate to cover up any of Renee's artwork because it's so beautiful, but he just wants to be there. So there's our little flower array. And then I tied, oh, these are leaves. These are her fall leaves. They're very beautiful. And I'm going to tuck these back behind my red flower. There we go. Pretty, pretty. And then I tied a bow with really reasonable ribbon, copper and cream, which is my favorite fall ribbon. And this is going to go right into our flower cluster like this. And once the glue is set, I'll fuss the bow. And then I did a gold metallic bow to go on top of that. I'm also going to tuck in and again, once it sets up, I'll fuss that a bit. I did audition a couple of butterflies because I love Renee's butterflies. And look at all her fall. These are all her fall butterflies. So pretty. And we've got this little wee butterfly right here. So I thought we would place one right here. And then I want this other one to go right here. Wow, I really like that. And you saw we used very little patterned paper to make this. We just kind of brought in bits and pieces and it worked so well. Okay. The last little thing I'm going to do, oops. Of course I'm going to come back and fix all my bows and things, but I'm just going to scatter some dots of glue. Okay. Those are mustard seeds. And I love using them on fall projects. I like that better. The other was too much. And when the wet spots where the glue was dries, it'll just give the leaves that really great sort of you know, decaying look. So I'm just going to leave that like that. I like that. I think that's real good. And let me finish the inside of the card and I'll come back and show you what I did. All right, my friends, I just could not be happier with the way this turned out. I've matted it on a 5 1/8 by 7 1/8 cream cardstock base. This is a heavyweight cardstock, and I just love the way this looks. It's so perfectly fall. Who knew? I had one piece of 8 by 8 paper and a bunch of little scraps, and I'm pretty tickled with the way this turned out. Here is the inside. On the top, I pieced together papers. These were all small papers left over after I covered the bottom. And then I used washi tape to put my honey stick here. Matted these just to create a sense of consistency over the green. It also covers up the lines where I paper pieced these together, and then added this little sticker here, and then down here in the pocket, here's another little piece of the green. I cut this piece first, and then of course did the mat with the faded brick. Ran this strip of the postage stamps and the sentiments across the top, a sticker down here at the bottom. Then we have a piece of Ghirardelli chocolate. We have a little note card, blank note card with washi tape on the top, and then a little tea wallet with pumpkin spice tea inside. So out of just a little tiny bit of paper, really, we made a gorgeous 5x7 card folio. And that is how I like to use my scraps. Thanks for joining me today, Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. I will put a link to my blog post in the description box below this video where you can find the supply list, and you can also look at some still photos. There will be a photo array at the end of this. So happy Throwback Thursday, guys. Go get your craft on. Bye.